Last week I shared with you that I would record this video on the 4 primary fears so you can understand exactly why you won't take risks or why you're not acting. When you get this written down on paper, you'll see how it can make a difference in your life immediately. So let's dive in. I want to let you know that taking risks is vital for your success. If you look at any of the people you admire in your life and how they became successful, they took risks. You know, one of the risks I took was to emigrate from my country in the UK to the United States. That was a big risk. But, you know, educated in that many other people had done that before me and many other people had succeeded, but it was still a risk. But here's why it was important, because the risk of staying put would have led to a life that I didn't want to have. And so think about that. Think about where your situation is right now. If you are worried about staying put and taking risks, thinking that the risk is riskier and harmful to your life, I assure you, staying where you are is much more risky and has far greater consequences for you, especially if you're experiencing any kind of misery or unhappiness with what you do in your career or how your life is running. Think about your health and your relationships and your money, all of those things. So let's jump in. Write down on a piece of paper for me, will you, the word FACE, F-A-C-E. I'm going to start with F. This is your first primary fear, and it is one of financial ruin. That's right. Even if you have $1 million in the bank, you're worried you're going to lose it all. You're worried you're not going to have enough. Let me assure you, you have enough. You also have skills and value to recreate your financial wealth in any circumstances. You are skillful, you are strong beyond belief. You should not fear financial ruin, but it is real because the brain is wired for safety and survival, not thriving. So if you don't have enough on your scoreboard, the checking account, it's because your brain tells you to survive, it doesn't tell you to thrive. To thrive, you have to take different actions. Some people call them risks. Okay, let's do A. A is accountability. That you must take responsibility, extreme personal responsibility for your life. And we fear this because the task is monumental. And I'm talking as simple as you've always wanted to write a book, but you haven't written the book because you fear the responsibility of actually getting it done. You don't want to tell people, I'm going to write a book, and don't do it. And then they hold you accountable and say, hey, you never wrote that book. So we don't want to take on the responsibility. That's A. So now we have financial ruin, accountability or extreme personal responsibility. Let's go to the next one. C, character. We're worried about how our character will be judged. In other words, we're worried about our personal reputation. We've spent decades building a reputation with friends and family and work colleagues. We do not want to take any risks to damage that reputation. Have you ever had that feeling where people are judging you? Well, that's what you're worried about. You're worried about that judgment. You're worried about people talking behind your backs. And I'm here to tell you, they aren't talking about behind your back. Do you know why? Because they're worried that you're talking behind theirs. They care about themselves. It's the biggest addiction in life is the addiction to self. Let's go to E. It's the final one here. E, exclusion. You're worried about exclusion. You're worried about rejection. If you take a big risk, you're worried that somebody's going to say no. You shouldn't write a book. Don't do that. You shouldn't leave this company. Don't do that. You need to stay safe. You know, I remember when I left my corporate career in 2018 now, 6 years ago, my boss and my boss before that said the same thing. Now, have you got something to go to? And I said, no, I don't. Why do I need something to go to? This was their fear. This was their worry for me. But I wasn't fearing their rejection. You know, very nervous about those things. These are simple primary fears that we all face. We don't fear the unknown. We think we do. You can't fear the unknown because if the unknown is unknown, what are you fearing? Nothing. You're basically saying, I'm scared of everything. I'm scared of nothing. So here's some lessons for you today. Write down that word FACE. Financial ruin, accountability, character, the fear of rejection, and exclusion, the fear of rejection. There are your 5 primary fears. I'd love to hear your comments in below about which ones you face every day. My job is to change your life. And I am here to encourage you and to motivate you and to inspire you to be better. Stop playing small, everybody. And I'll see you real soon.